Why would you do that?
We're in the endgame now.
What is poppin' YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Avengers Endgame. So the movie's been out for a couple of days now, so you should have had a chance to watch it once or twice. So we are giving away the Hasbro Infinity Gauntlet. All you gotta do is subscribe to the channel with notifications on and let me know down below what was your favorite moment of Endgame. So there is actually a post-credit scene, kind of, but it's not a formal post-credit scene. Essentially, what happens is there is clanking 3 times, similar to the cave scene when Iron Man made the first Iron Man suit, which is more of a reference really saying that it's gone full circle. It started with Iron Man and it ends with Iron Man. So careful for spoilers, but this is a spoilery based video. So what does this mean? Realistically, it doesn't mean anything, but it could insinuate so many different things. But before we get into that, we actually have to explain why. So during the actual movie, Tony Stark has a prerequisite. He has a backup plan just in case he does have to sacrifice himself, which was essentially the endgame plan. The endgame plan was essentially they go back in time, they steal the stones, they make their own gauntlet. Then essentially, Iron Man has to snap his fingers, and then that is the end game. But Doctor Strange could not tell him this. I was a little bit disappointed that there wasn't really any Doctor Strange in this whole movie. So there was a backup plan, and it worked. And he essentially made a hologram version of himself to explain everything to everyone, and to explain everything to his younger daughter, Morgan, who very well could go on to be Ironheart. So the clanking in the post-credit scene, if you can call it that, could essentially be someone taking up the mantle of Iron Man. Now, before this video clip played, I will actually overlay this clip right now. There is a scene from Spider-Man Far From Home, which is a very good indication that the reason we haven't had the second trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home is that we do see in this clip Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, aka played by the actor Tom Holland, is looking very, very sad. Almost like he is seeing someone in the sky. Now, I personally think that what could be going on here is just like when Tony Stark went back in time, he was talking to his dad. His dad's driver was called Jarvis, ironically. So I ironically think there is an artificial intelligence version, an AI version of Tony Stark built into one of Spider-Man's suits, and it will come out like a projector, because if you do see the clip, it does actually look like he is talking to someone. Now, I don't think that they're going to make a new Iron Man straight away, but it wouldn't be that hard for Robert Downey Jr. to do some cameo roles, kind of like Stan Lee, but in an AI variation way. I mean, Tony did set instant kill, which we did see in Endgame, which was awesome. So Mysterio or anyone that tries to take Spider-Man out, he just has to go to instant kill mode. So it would be pretty cool if there was an AI hologram built into his suit, which could talk to him, which could give him advice. Because in the first Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, Happy Hogan does say, "You are alone." And like everyone said, like we said on this channel, it was so obvious that it was going to go full circle, that Spider-Man was going to die. And to be honest, the clanking, it is a reference, it is an Easter egg that not many people picked up. I have to give full credit to my friend for this idea, but it is interesting because I did say something very similar. I think it was about 8 months ago now or so, that I insinuated that there will be an AI version of Tony Stark after he is killed in Endgame. And it did come to fruition. In my opinion, Captain America also died. He didn't technically die, but he has given up the role. He's passed the mantle down. So in my opinion, he has died. So what does this tell us about the future of Marvel? Well, it does unofficially confirm that Tony Stark will appear in some capacity in the next trailer. That is why they said the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer 2 has been delayed, because there's a spoiler. So like I said, the clip that I played at the start of the video that I'll overlay again is going to appear in the second trailer. Maybe he does look like he's looking up the sky. This was shot in London. Now, I know some people go, yeah, but that's Mysterio. I don't think he's going to be looking sad and depressed because of Mysterio. Now, it's going to be very interesting to see the ramifications that it has on Peter, because Peter seen Tony like his dad, and Tony seen Peter like the son he never had. Obviously, yes, he'd have Morgan, and yes, I do think someone will be Ironheart. But as this movie was set in 2018, obviously Infinity War, 5-year jump 2023, it really could be until 2023 till we get another movie. Then in theory, we could get Ironheart, but if Ironheart is going to be played by Tony Stark's daughter, she would still be too young. So I don't think she will be taking up the Ironheart mantle. I think in the future, possibly, I do think there is going to be a feminine female jump in the MCU, as they did kind of foreshadow it in the movie. We got a scene with Captain Marvel, with Scarlet Witch, with Valkyrie, with Shuri, with Okoye, etc. So they will be setting up some kind of female version of the Avengers, which will probably go down pretty well if Captain Marvel's numbers are anything to go by. It did gross over 1 billion, even though there was the controversy, and it's still the controversy around Brie Larson. For some reason, these people seem to hate her, but her movie still blows. And yes, the new haircut does look pretty cool. So for the future of the MCU, it is quite apparent from this post-credit scene, teaser, Easter egg, that Tony Stark in some capacity is going to be around, just like Captain America was a hologram teaching the kids at the school in Spider-Man Homecoming in some kind of capacity like that. It is actually interesting how many people missed the Stan Lee cameo, which is a big shame. They essentially dressed him like himself in the 70s. I don't really understand how people missed that. It's not even his last cameo role. His last cameo role will be in Spider-Man Far From Home. He is the one that gives Peter the passport. Why? Because why would they edit out who gives him the passport if it wasn't anyone important? So guys, let me know down below, do you agree that there is a post-credit scene? Because technically it's after the credits, there is sound. It doesn't have to be a visual post-credit scene, but it is teeing up something. Now, I know everyone is disappointed because there was no Galactus, there was no X-Men, there was no Fantastic Four, there was no Living Tribunal and stuff like that. But did you really think that was going to happen? I mean, if the deal closed in October, it would have been a complete different story. But I've seen a lot of people on the internet really infuriated with the fact that there was no crazy greatest threat. I mean, I think if you watch the movie in the first 10 minutes, after Thanos was killed, essentially, it was pretty obvious that there was going to be no greater threat. The only greater threat was them reversing time without messing too much up. But obviously, Marvel's explanation for time travel is even worse than Barry Allen's The Flash explanation of time travel. At least Barry Allen's time travel mistakes make sense, whereas the timeline in this universe, it's an absolute mess. And I hope they retcon it with Doctor Strange 2, because that would make the most sense of how, because obviously he is in control of time and time is in control of reality. So it make a lot of sense if he was in control of fixing said timeline, because the Ancient One also teased that up. So I am going to be doing another epic Q&A in the next few days. So if you've got any questions you want to ask me, I will answer them. As long as they're not too personal or too invasive, I will answer them, as I really love the Q&As. I love interacting with all you guys. So guys, let me know, did you catch this post-credit scene? It is kind of a post-credit scene. It's a love letter to the fans saying basically Iron Man is still here. He's always going to be here. Someone will take the mantle up at some point. And I think it's interesting. Let me know what you think about this theory about an artificial intelligence version of Tony Stark, Iron Man coming out of Spider-Man's suit somehow. It is pretty obvious that it's going to happen. We said it before on the channel months ago, but now we're saying it again. Now there is evidence. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. And if you haven't already, do make sure to check me out on Instagram at Warstu. I do live stream and post on there regularly. It is a much better way for me to interact with you guys. And obviously the Twitter, we do have the Twitter. It's at Warstu. Yes, someone robbed my handle and I can't get it back. Been trying for a year, but I still can't get it back. And also, we will be live streaming Mortal Kombat 11 at some point, probably starting today on our Twitch account, which again is Warstu on Twitch. So if you do want to follow me on Twitch, I most likely will start live streaming on Twitch. And it is pretty cool because we don't get that many people in, so I can literally answer a bunch of questions. But sometimes if I live stream on YouTube, there's too many questions if you get over 100 people that you can't really answer them. So it gets a bit frustrating for some of you guys. But I just want to say thanks for all the support leading up to Endgame and post Endgame. Phase 4 will be coming soon. Kevin Feige has said he won't be officially saying much until after Far From Home, which comes out the first week of July. And then obviously San Diego Comic-Con in July. He will be announcing a full slate there, which will reveal when the Eternals movie comes out, when Black Widow movie comes out, if anyone even cares about that because now she's technically dead. Or is she? Because they didn't really explain what happened when Steve Rogers went back in time and gave the Soul Stone back. If the Soul Stone was back, why would they need to take the soul off her and why would she need to be killed? So is she like Loki? Loki is alive in some timeline, in some parallel universe. Loki is still alive. So is she still alive in some kind of random universe? I guess she could be. And then obviously we do have Black Panther 2 and a bunch of other movies in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which essentially they set up with Fat Thor joining the Guardians to go find 2014 variation of Gamora, which she is a good person, but she's not the version that died. And then obviously Adam Warlock could be a villain for Thor, although he's not really kind of a villain, but he was a massive part of the Infinity Gauntlet story, but they never really used him in Avengers 3 or 4 or Infinity War Part 1 and 2. So it is very interesting. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. Don't worry, the content will be flying out daily. We're not going anywhere. We are only just getting started. So I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.